Boruto and Kashin Koji believe they have everything planned out as it pertains to the Mamushi invasion. But little did they know, they were missing a very crucial detail in their plans. A detail that could prove to be fatal if they're not careful. Now, what exactly do I mean by crucial detail? Well, for that, we gotta look at one of the most mysterious characters in the series right now. And that character is Code, believe it or not. He has the power to ruin everything. And Kashin Koji may have been beginning to take notice in that. This been bothering me for a while, and honestly, I've been wanting to make a video on this. Because this has the potential to change the direction of not only this operation, but the entirety of the series. So let's discuss. Let's really deep dive into this problem. We see at the end of chapter 29, Koji appeared a little displeased with the way the operation was going so far. And Ikemoto kind of left us on that cliffhanger for next chapter to let us know that the action is only going to be picking up from this point on. But what could Koji be worried about? I mean, the operation is going smoothly. It looks like they are doing good in keeping Mamushi under control and gathering them up accordingly. At first, it does appear that way. But when we look deeper, I can name several things that could end up being a hindrance on this operation. Things that we've all been missing. And I will name them all eventually as alternatives, but one scenario that I feel has some of the highest chances to happen is a Code reappearance. You know, during my last hot takes video, this was brought up as a possible prediction for chapter 29, but it ended up never happening. From that point, I knew this was something I should definitely make a video on because I believe it's bound to happen sooner or later. This happened back in chapter 15, which is over 10 chapters ago, almost 15 chapters to be exact. Just a quick recap on that situation, when Code infiltrated the Shinju hideout, he came face to face with Jura for the second time. Because remember, Code was there during the birth of the Shinju along with Boruto. And during this interaction, Jura noticed that Code's life lacked motivation. So he gave him the task of finding and killing Boruto and his accomplice. This was well needed for Code because, as we all remember, prior to this conversation, Code lacked any type of purpose in the story. He didn't serve the story any type of value, he just got destroyed by Boruto and he lost control of the Claw Grimes. Again, he's gotten used and betrayed. So he couldn't be further away from his goal if you ask me. Ikemoto might as well started planning his permanent removal from the story, unless he could revitalize his impact. And that's exactly what he did in this chapter. But ever since this deal, we have not seen Code one dime. He's been AFK for nearly 15 chapters. So that means Code is planning something. And just off the fact that we haven't seen Code in such a long time, he's going to suddenly appear out of nowhere and shock everyone. Code may not look like it, but whatever he does, he makes sure to plan through effectively. If he didn't just suck as a character, I would be highly impressed with how stealthy and sly he can appear to be sometimes. And if you all may be a little confused of what I'm talking about, look here. About 40 chapters ago, Code invaded Konoha to find Amato so he could remove his limiters. By placing a claw mark on the back of Shikamaru's neck, he was able to hear their conversation and any useful information they may have had about Kawaki's karma and Amato's motives. Now, to be fair, I don't think at this moment Code was worried about this information, but it's still a good example of how stealthy he could move if he was trying to gather information. Something he could for sure put to use now that he's actually looking for someone, which is Boruto and his accomplice. With the claw marks, Code can be anywhere he wants, whenever he wants. And the crazy thing is, we never know where a claw mark may reside, so we don't even know the areas that Code has access to. But what I can say is that Konoha is one of the places, because lately, not only has Code been in Konoha, Jura, Hidari, Mamushi, all of these Shinju have been in Konoha and most likely used the power of the claw marks in the village. These claw marks automatically give Code access to anywhere they are placed. Even if one is missed, it could mean he has some sort of access to that place. I doubt he still has access to the claw marks that are out in the open because of Kawaki's abilities to shrink them beyond use. But now, while Mamushi is actively invading Konoha, this could be the perfect time for him to make his first move. So, I mean, obviously, let's just address the elephant in the room. The way Code will attack will have to be an ambush. And I say that because I believe Code knows what position he's in right now. He's in no position to launch a full-out assault because it's just not going to work. He's not strong enough to just go out there and fight Boruto, along with much of his comrades. And this includes multiple characters like Sarada, Kawaki, or even Mitsuki for that matter anyway. So that means his approach must change if he's gonna accomplish his deal with Jura. It's literally all about the timing and how he chooses to sabotage. Now we all know Code is somewhere out there lurking and gathering intel, waiting for an opportunity to strike. But like all battle strategists, they know it's better to strike at the head first to really sabotage any meaningful operation. We also seen Madara do it during the 4th grade ninja war. By taking out the headquarters of the allied shinobi force, he was able to hinder their communication tactics. And as it pertains to this specific operation, communication is the most important part. We know Kashin Koji and Inojin is the head of this operation, so if I wanted to put Konoha in the worst position possible, that's where I would target. And believe it or not, there's a strong possibility that Code already knows about Kashin Koji's role. He knows that he's Boruto's accomplice, because looking back to chapter 4, Koji's toad was spotted by Code as he questioned, "What is this toad?" Both formerly members of the Kara organization, Code understands certain things about Kashin Koji, and that includes what his summoning toads look like and that they belong to Kashin Koji. As a matter of fact, there was an instance where Kawaki also noticed that the toad was Kashin Koji's just from looking at it. So it's not all that hard to pick up on if you just pay attention. I believe since this moment, Code knew that Boruto was in secret alliance with Kashin Koji, or at least it might have been possible. And if Code realizes that Koji is in fact involved with Boruto, that makes it slightly easier to find and kill him. There's already traces that Boruto and Kashin Koji have left behind, which makes finding them easier. Even Matsuri was close to finding them, even going as far as to finding one of their secret hideouts. And I'm not sure if they are hopping in between different hideouts often. I'm guessing the hideout shown in chapter 15 is a different hideout from chapter 29, because let's just be honest, they would simply be foolish not to change hideouts after all this time of being chased. So I'm not going to say it's the same, but of course if it was, then the chances that Code could get there via the claw marks is high. So I see it like this. For Code to actually find Kashin Koji, he would need to be stealthy and patient. Wait for an opportunity to make a move. You already have options right now to get closer to him, which include Inojin and most importantly Boruto. Don't expect Code to just pop out and challenge anyone. He's going to wait. Follow Boruto around from the shadows and look for an opportunity where he can use the claw marks on him, just like he's done numerous of times in the past on other people. And like I said, while everyone in Konoha is fighting Mamushi, this is the best time for someone like Code to make a move, because the attention wouldn't be on him. It literally can't. He would just be an afterthought, and that's just what he wants too. Kashin Koji has the ability to view multiple different timelines, and each timeline has good futures and bad futures. According to statements in the series, it appears that he gets these visions somewhere between 2 to 5 days to play it safe. And when he does get these visions, sometimes they show him a different future than what he's seen before, because they've done something to change the future or something along those lines. And that's exactly what has Kashin Koji worried, because the future is changing again. Koji now knows there's a possibility Code could get involved and screw everything up very soon because of the futures he's seen. And that could entail anything like assisting Mamushi into finding Ada, probably by diverting attention elsewhere in Konoha, or literally help Mamushi find Ada. And it could also be some sort of revenge towards Ada and Damon for betraying him. You never know. So Kashin Koji has some trouble that he's seeing and not telling us. And we already seen, things around Konoha are not going exactly to plan. For example, in a couple chapters back, he emphasized that the plan was to keep the Mamushi clones in between 20 to 30. And fast forward to the current day, they easily exceeded 50 clones. So already, that's also something to be worried about. There's just too many clones, and that makes it easier for them to eventually find a clue that will link them to Ada. And then there's the thing with Boruto, which Koji could be worried about, since prior to the operation, Koji did ask Boruto what did he and Momoshiki discuss, because he knew that Boruto would have to present him some kind of deal. But Boruto never told him what that deal consists of. It could have easily been something that Koji never foresaw. What if Koji didn't know Boruto offered up his literal body to Momoshiki? that creates more untrustworthy tension between him and Boruto. And we can't even forget about the situation with Shikamaru. Could Koji have seen a future where Shikamaru actually loses his job as Hokage because of his secret alliance with Boruto? So you see, there's actually several things going on around Konoha all at once, and I'm aware of all of them. And rightfully so, all of what I just mentioned warrants this worry from Kashin Koji. But of course I'm not going to make a video on all of them, so I'll just combine them all into one video. I will say though, the situation with Kobu and Shikamaru is getting heated. And if Shikamaru actually loses his job as Hokage, it just further complicates the mission because he's supposed to act as the communication between Koji and the rest of Konoha. And without him, the communication aspect of the operation takes a massive hit, almost to the point where Inojin's new jutsu becomes obsolete, which can also tie into the survival rate of Himawari and Ada. So Shikamaru staying as Hokage is more important than you think. But as much as I think the possibility of that happening is high, Code is also a very prominent threat in this mission because he has a goal that seems impossible, and even he knows that. So to accomplish this mission as easy as possible, he's gonna do anything he possibly can, which includes playing dirty. So I view this as the perfect opportunity to make his mark and help Konoha fall, which will leave Boruto in an even more vulnerable situation. So even if we don't see Code strike next chapter, just be informed that he's looking for clues that will bring him that much closer to his goal of taking down Boruto and Koji. And if you ask me, if Code ends up finding Koji, let me just be 100% transparent with you guys. I'm not 100% sure Koji survives that encounter. With Code, I'm not going off of statements anymore, because every time we think he can win a fight, he just ends up finding a way to lose. I mean, sure, if you take into account that Code is supposed to be stronger than Jigen with his limiters off, and of course Koji did struggle with an extremely weakened version of Jigen, I could say that Code can take down Koji if it's a one-on-one battle, because whenever we think he can win a fight, he just ends up losing. So of course, I'd love to hear from you guys. If Code does come face to face with Koji without Boruto present, do you think Koji could survive that encounter? Or do you think that'll be the end of Koji and Prescience? Do you think this is the reason Koji is so anxious? Is it Shikamaru? Is it Boruto's sudden use of the karma? Is it the fact that there's literally 20 more Mamushis running around in Konoha than expected? Or do you think he sees a vision where Code makes a move? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. It won't be too long until the leaks start coming out, so you know I'll be going live and reviewing it with you guys very soon. So if you want to be a part of that, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications so you know whenever I upload, or go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next one, I'll see you boys and girls later, and I'm out. Peace.